Welcome back to the Heartland State Bank Press Box. Heartland State Bank, a proud sponsor of all our local students and student athletes.
Okay, now I'm turning off both of these microphones.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whether you are pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocate.
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Well, with the band going here, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge as we notice that we have a rather hot mic here. Testing 2, 3, 4, about ready to get underway for the volleyball game between the Redfield Lady Pheasants and the Wolsey-Wessington Lady Warbirds. Pheasants coming into this one with a 9-15 record, and the Warbirds much more accomplished as they are 23-4. So we will be getting underway here shortly with the starting lineups, and in the meantime, just watch the warm-ups going on, see what's going on here at the Redfield Greeno Gymnasium. Band is playing in the background, and we are trying to get a play-by-play going on here, going through a little bit of testing to see what the story is as we are ready to go here for the varsity, and that will be the game between Wolsey-Wessington and Redfield, about a minute away from getting things underway here. So checking to see if we are on the air and the audio is okay and versus the band. The band is sitting right next to us. So we are just getting ready to go. As you can see on the floor is the Redfield Pheasant volleyball team getting warmed up here as the band is right next to us. And we're always delighted to have the band here, but when you can't hear yourself think, it's a little bit of a challenge. But hopefully we can get through this evening, and pretty shortly we should have the starting lineups for the two teams. We have them registered here. This is the next to the last game that we will be having here at the gymnasium for Redfield, more than likely. Although if somehow or other they happen to sneak into that spot where they, just if they happen to sneak into that spot, and the 4th spot in the standings, which right now they're 5th spot looking in, if they get to that 4th spot, they might have an opportunity to get a home game. But right now, that appears to be somewhat unlikely, as the Redfield Pheasants will be putting on some bright yellow jerseys here, it appears. Haven't double-checked the numbers that they have on that. The young ladies to the left side of the screen are from Wolsey-Wessington, as Redfield is still in conversation over there on the other side. It might be that they just come across and throw the jerseys into the crowd, which I hope is the case, because
that's kind of what they've been doing in the last few games. They've been having something they throw into the crowd. I'll bet you them jerseys are what they're going to throw into the crowd.
Okay, we'll hope that that's the case, and we will check and see if they're going to do the yes, they are going to do the national anthem first, so we will take a second for the national anthem. National anthem is played by the Redfield High School Band, and now they're going to go through the introduction. So we'll introduce the visiting team, not necessarily in direct correlation to the PA announcer, but we will go and do our business here anyway. Number 2 for the Wolsey-Wessington Lady Warbirds is Kendall Utek. And it appears in this lineup that if the Utek family leaves town, they won't have a volleyball program, because the head coach is Lindy Utek, and she has 3 of, I assume, her daughters in the lineup tonight. So number 2, Kendall Utek, will be the first one that will be going there. And then number 4, Peyton Chemnitz. Both of those, well, let's see, Kendall is a sophomore and Peyton is a senior. Tatum Luce, a junior at 5'9", will be in there, number 7. Number 11, Samara Clemente, a junior at 5'11". Number 12, Kaylin Doris, a senior at 5'11". So they have pretty good height along that front line there. Redfield, check that. The other starters will be number 14, Lainey Utek. She is a senior. And then number 20, Shay Utek, is a freshman. So the only year that Lindy Utek missed a child there was apparently the junior year, because they have a freshman, a sophomore, and a senior in the lineup for the Utek family. So checking on our starting lineup for the Redfield Pheasants. They will go with the standard starting lineup that they have used most consistently, and that will be number 1, Charlie Youngworth, a freshman, 5'7". Number 3, Jersey Morrison, a senior, 5'5". Number 4, Hayden Gall, a sophomore at 5'9". It will be Katie Roselle, number 6, and she is 5'11", and the only 5'11" youngster that Redfield has in their lineup. She is a senior. Kendall Seabright, who's been getting more and more playing time here recently. She is a freshman, 5'5". Chloe Zenz, who has really caught our attention. She is a senior, 5'5", and she just digs the daylights out of that ball. Amazing some of the things that she gets up and keeps in play. Number 10, Cecilia Sukar. So that is the starting lineup for Redfield and for the Lady Warbirds from Wolsey-Wessington. About ready to get underway here, 0-0 as we're just starting off. And Redfield will be doing the first serving, and that looks like Jersey Morrison will be there to serve. Zenz comes into the game. And Jersey Morrison will step to the line and get ready to serve it for Redfield. And we are underway. Deep to the back line, and a valiant effort turned in by Shea Utek, but she can't get it back over, and it will be Redfield's point, 1-0. So Morrison with the second serve, a chance at a second point here, and this time the Wolsey-Wessington club does get the ball into play, but Redfield cannot get it over, and it will be 1-1 tie here. And at the service line will be number 14, and that is Lainey Utek. And not able to handle it is the Wessington, the Redfield team, and they are now down 2-1. Back to the service line, Lainey Utek. That was Seabright. Back to the back line and over. Nice block over there by Roselle and Gall. And Redfield picks up the point, and it's going to be a 2-2 tie. So Roselle and Gall with a nice block to get the point. And at the service line for Redfield will be Gall. Hayden Gall from the far right side, as you can see. To the near side, and a kill by Tatum Luce. And Redfield will drop behind 3-2. At the service line will be number 7, that's Tatum Luce. Saved by Gall. Roselle gets it over and deep. On the far side, tipped over by Doris. Redfield gets the ball across. Sucord tries to push it over and gets it out of bounds, and it is 2-4. And Luce will be at the line once again for Wolsey-Wessington. They call themselves the Lady Warbirds. Good sharp serve and fairly deep. Sucor with another shot at it, and looks like she will pick up the point for Redfield. And the score goes to 4-3 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. At the service line will be Chloe Zenz. Zenz sends it fairly deep. On the far side, the ball goes over by Clemente. And she jumps up and blocks one. And the point goes to Wolsey-Wessington, 5-3. At the service line will be Kendall Utek. She fires it over. Morrison gets it. And a nice slam save by Roselle. So Redfield will get the ball back and be in business. That's the first one for Roselle. And at the service line for Redfield is Roselle. Nice save over there. That was saved by Lainey Utek. Good hard shot over the line. Zaz with another brilliant save. And the ball just hits the line over there. And that will make the score 4-6 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. Zenz Gall. And a little bit too close to the net to be able to have Morrison get it over. And there's going to be a lead of 3 now, 7-4 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. Hard shot off the backboard in the rafters. Looks like it's going to get over, and it bounces high into the rafters as it looked like Radigan was going to get it over. But she got it a little bit too high, and it bounced around the rafters. And that will be the largest lead here for Wolsey-Wessington in the first game as they lead it by 4 points, 8-4. Zenz. Gall just tips it over, and the Wolsey-Wessington returns the favor. Youngworth. Ball gets over by Laney Utek. Nice attempt at a kill there by Youngworth. And dropping it into no man's land is Kinley Smith. Check that, that's Roselle. No, it is Kinley Smith. Did I mention before that I absolutely hate ponytails? Seabright on the far side. Nice shot by Laney Utek. Redfield unable to get it back. And the lead goes to 5-9. Still that 4-point edge. It's the biggest lead that Wolsey-Wessington has had. Getting it over was Kinley Smith. Seabright, Gall, back line, out of bounds by Roselle. 5-10. At the service line is Shea Utek. On the near side, Kill dropped in there by Chemnitz, and Redfield drops behind by a score of 11-5. So Shea Utek on the line. This is her third chance at a point. Far side, and once again a little bit too close to the net, and Redfield can't get it over, and the Pheasants are now trailing by 7. That's the biggest lead that Wolsey-Wessington has had here in the game, and we'll have a timeout, and we'll be back right after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to a Redfield Sports presentation.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Redfield trailing it by a score of 12-5. Wolsey-Wessington still has Shea Utek on the line. She has reeled off 5 consecutive points here. Attempt at her 6th. And once again, too close to the net. And Redfield, unfortunately, cannot pick it up and get it over the top. And Shea will go back to the line. This one deep. Seabright gets it. Attempted a kill on this side by Youngworth. Nice dig on the back line by Roselle. Youngworth and Caden Gall get a little confused and wind up giving away another point. 6 points in a row for Shea Utek. Far side, that was Youngworth. Kill by Laney Utek, but Redfield gets it. Nice volley on both sides here. And this one slammed home by Laney Utek. So we are.
Boy, she got some power.
8 points in a row for Shea. This one another driving serve, not being able to handle by Redfield. And we're going 9 consecutive points. As coming into the game for Redfield on that back line. That is Brooklyn Ricci, is it, Ted? Ricci. Okay, let's see. Out or in? It was in. So another point, and it goes 5-17. As Redfield has really hit the skids right here. As Shea Utek is just drilling him. This will be her 10th point in a row if it goes Wolsey-Wessington's way. Nice dig and a save. And this time, Wolsey-Wessington not able to regain. Laney Utek did a fine job of digging that one out. But the serve will go over to Redfield. And it looks like Seabright will be on the line for Redfield. Hits the tape of the net and just rolls over. 17-7.
That's what you want to do, though.
Absolutely. Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Seabright blasts it deeper this time. Redfield recovering. Gall with the set. And a double hit at the net as Sukor drives one in. And this will be the second point opportunity for Redfield. Is now 17-8 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. Trying to keep up with the scoreboard here. My apologies that we are trying to do two things at once.
Hayden Gall with a kill there.
Okay, Wolsey-Wessington with 17. As it's on their side of the court right now. Fired away. Roselle, Gall, and a nice shot on the front line. Block Kinley Smith there. Sukor again. No, that was Youngworth. Far side, and it goes out off of the hands of Tatum Luce. So Redfield has closed the gap somewhat. Fired that one over, did Seabright. Nice block at the net. Once again, Gall and this time Kinley Smith. And unfortunately, that one driven into the net. And it's going to be 10-18 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. Deep serve. And out. The serve turned in by Chemnitz. And Redfield picks up a point to make it 11. 11-18, back on the service line. Jersey Morrison gets a good deep serve. And it is tossed over by Kendall Utek. Sukor gets up and slams one home. And Redfield is now up to 12, but they're looking at 18 on the other side. Big slam. Zans with a dig. My goodness sake, she does that so well. There she goes again. Gets out of the way. Move forward. Sukor will get it over, but it's going to go long. And that will be 19-12 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. And they will send to the service line. This is Laney Utek. Laney, deep shot, Zenz, Gall over the other side, and that was Roselle. So Roselle pops it home. And Redfield picks up the point and the serve. Still hanging in there, but trailing 19-13. Gall at the service line. A little too weak on the serve and didn't get it to drop in. Tatum Luce at the service line for Wolsey-Wessington. And that'll be Roselle getting one over for the Pheasants, and that runs the score up to 19. Check that, 20 to 14, 6-point differential. Zenz will be on the serve. To the far side over there and just taps it, and it bounces right on the line. That is Samara Clemente. And a point for Wolsey-Wessington as they close in on the 21-14 lead and the 25 points needed to win this first game. Redfield was in it early, but Wolsey-Wessington reeled off 9 points in a row. Another nice block over there. That was Radigan and Gall. Morrison tries to slam it over after it gets scrambled around at the net, and Wolsey-Wessington leads it by a score of 22 to 14.
Very good volley there, back and forth.
Did a nice job. Kendall Utek on the service line for Wolsey-Wessington. This time Zenz can't quite dig it out. And another point for the Lady Warbirds, leading at 23 to 14 in game 1 of this best of 5. Zenz, Gall, Roselle gets it rejected. It was rejected by Clemente, and we have game point going on here, 24 to 14. Redfield trailing by 10. That's the biggest deficit that they've had so far in the match tonight. Morrison, Zenz, and it'll be sent over by Youngworth. On the far side, Zenz digs it again off of the hands of Laney Utek. At the net, nice block by Roselle. Youngworth gets it and now hammers it over, and it is blocked down by the front line of Samara Clement, and that will be the victory for the Wolsey-Wessington Warbirds as they come away with a 25 to, I believe, was it 12 or 10? They took
14.
14. They took the number down 14. So quickly. Anyway, that's where we are, and we'll be back in 30 seconds getting set for our second game. Best of 5.
The foundation for how we do business is right in our initials, W-E. We. Everything we do is a partnership. We understand solving the many complex challenges growers face every day takes teamwork. And when we succeed, we do it together. That's the power of we.
Hey, Tyler with Summit Contracting here. Let's talk about building on your farm. One of the great things about working with Summit Contracting is that we are the farm builders. We build premium grain systems and any structure that goes on your farm. It's never too early to start a project. We'll create a layout to ensure your structures are perfectly placed for today and the future. Let's get started on your farm project at buildsummit.com.
Well, apparently our return to the action is not working tonight, so we'll get along with it. Ted, what did you see in that first game?
Well, for Redfield, of course, Katie Roselle, she's digging them out like crazy. She had 4 kills. Cecilia Seacourt, she had 3 kills. But they were digging it out. I mean, you swear it was going to hit the floor, and she brought it right off the floor. Katie Roselle did several times. And then you go over to the Wolsey-Wessington and Lady Warbirds. It's the UTEC girls doing it all.
My goodness sakes. 3 UTECs in the lineup and a UTEC on the bench coaching them. And there's a freshman, a sophomore, and a senior. So I wonder what happened to that junior year. But
he must have been in the Army or something.
Yeah, way overseas or something. But, well, I tell you what, she almost has, she has half a team out there on the floor.
Does.
And they are doing quite well.
And they play good, too.
Yeah, they're doing well. Okay, well, we're about set to go with the second game here. Redfield losing the first one by a score of 25-14. And of course, Redfield will, I believe, no, Redfield had the opening serve, didn't they? So that will be the opening serve then in the second game. And that will be Lainey Utek out there. As she approaches, and we're underway in the second game. Seabright, Zenz, and over by Gall. Deep, which is where you want to have it. On the far side, a whistler slammed in there by Kaylin Doris. And Redfield is on the short end all of a sudden, 0-1. At the service line is the young lady who just slammed it home, Laney. Over the net by Seabright. Dumped into a blank area, but recovered by Redfield. Roselle tried to drop it in no person's land. Morrison to the front line and over by Sukor. And the ball is slammed home by Doris once again. And Redfield is trailing 2-0. So 2 consecutive points right out of the chute here. Biggest lead that Wolsey-Wessington had in that first game was 10 points. Pretty deep, Zenz, Gall, Sukor. On the far side, that was Doris, and she gets another point. And Redfield trailing 1-0. Boy, she really hammers it, doesn't she? Yeah.
She's a big, tall girl. She got to be all of 6 foot.
Well, they have 5'11" all the way across the front line there. Service by Laney Utek. Redfield gets it over to the near side and then back over again. This time a beautiful block by Roselle and Gall, and they do it again. But somehow or other, recovering was Doris, and she got the ball over very awkwardly, but it went over. And Redfield, after 2 consecutive blocks with Gall and Roselle, they were very good blocks, but unfortunately the ball came right back to Doris, and she slammed it home. Well, Redfield has yet to crack the scoreboard here. They're giving up 5 consecutive points here going into the second game, in which Redfield trails 1-0. At the service line still is Laney Utek. Gall with the set. Roselle tries to drop it in no man's land. And that young lady, Doris, is back at it again. Kaylin Doris has really been hammering that ball home.
That's 6 kills already.
Yeah, that's a load already in the game. And still at the service line is Laney. Deep, Zenz gets it. Sukor goes over to Gall, and she gets it across. This time, the slam is off of Tatum Loose, and Redfield looks like they are pitching a shutout here. They're behind 7-0 after losing the first game, 25-14. It's best of 3. Wolsey-Wessington sails it long, and Redfield finally on the scoreboard, 7-1. Radigan comes into the game for Redfield, and sitting down will be Rishi. At the service line for Redfield, Gall. Here we go again. This time Redfield grabs it. An attempted kill by Doris doesn't work this time. Set to the near side, and it comes right off the top edge of the net, and the kill recorded by Kendall Utek, and that's Kendall's first kill of the match tonight. At the service line will be Tatum Loose, as they lead it by a score of 8-1. Zenz recovery and over by Kendall. To the far side, Doris once again, but this time Redfield off of Gall saves it. Deep to Roselle, this one near the net. Just off the line, nice job by Seabright to get it over. And then, oh no, that was Morrison. Roselle. Once again, Doris. And this time an attempt by Morrison to save it goes awry. and Redfield trails it by a score of 9-1. Tatum Luce still at the service line. Zenz, Gall, Roselle, far side, check that, just tipped over by Clemente, and Redfield trails it 10-1, and the Redfield Pheasants will call a timeout to see if they can't get something together to figure out what's going on.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
All right, we're back at it again here, Ted, and Redfield just can't seem to catch a break.
No, they went about 9-0 there to start the game. When you're down by 10 points to start the game, it makes it really hard to catch up, especially when the other team's doing a lot better than you are. But the girls they're playing hard tonight.
All right, at the service line for Wolsey-Wessington, Tatum Luce continues. Boy, that's a rocket over there, just barely handled. Zenz gets it over. On the near side, Zenz digs it again. Clemente, I'm telling you what, this Chloe Zenz is unbelievable. Here we go again. This one slammed by Clemente. Sucor a little bit too deep and it goes out. Well, a valiant effort by Redfield, but they're trailing by a score of 11-1 after having dropped the first game 25-14. Luce still at the line. Morrison. Roselle tried to slam it. It was driven right back into her snoot. She finally gets it over. Far side, Doris once again on the line. Oh my goodness sakes. For Doris, that is her 8th kill. And Redfield trailing by 11. Biggest point deficit that they've had in the match tonight. That one went long off of the serve of Luce, so Redfield picks up a point, and it's going to be 12-2, but there's going to be a lot of comeback that's going to be necessary to get Redfield back in this one. Chloe Zenz will serve it up, and it looks like it goes out. So 13-3, and right away, Wolsey-Wessington back in the service line. This is Kendall Utek. Zenz, Gall, Youngworth almost got it to kill, and this one's going out of bounds. So Redfield will gain back the service, but they're still trailing by 9 now. 13 to, well, let's see, they had 13 to, well, they only have 3 up there. How come that didn't get credited? Well, that's the way it goes. Guess I must have missed one in there somewhere. Zenz, Gall, Youngworth, off the tip, and Youngworth gets a kill. So Youngworth slams one home, and Redfield gets a couple of consecutive points. This is Gall at the line. Tries to drop it in between the front line and the back line. Zenz picks it up. Gall. Just tipping it over was Kinley Smith. Now a block attempt, but the block attempt, let's see, it came off of their tips of their fingers and went out of bounds. So Doris gets another kill. My goodness sake, she's going to blow the scoreboard up. She has 9 kills to this point. It's 14-4, and Wolsey-Wessington back to a 10-point lead. They were up by 11 at one time, as Redfield has been, well, completely outclassed. I hate to say it, but that's the story tonight.
Yeah.
Off the net.
And that would be an ace.
15.
For number 12.
So the first ace of the game recorded by Doris, and so far she's the MVP of this game for Wolsey-Wessington. Off the fingertips of Kinley Smith, and doesn't make it over, and it'll be 16-4. Redfield trailing after losing the first game. This one a fireball. Zenz once again doing her thing, and Roselle from the back line gets it fairly deep, but the Wolsey-Wessington Ladybirds get up there and get it anyway. This time Kenley Smith with a miss hit, and it's 17-14. Check that, 17 don't I wish 14, 17-4, and it is a 13-point lead. Zenz, Gall. Zenz hammers it long. Six consecutive points scored by the Lady Warbirds, and it's 18-4. This kill thrown in there by Kemsnitz, and it's 19-4.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Let's bring our scoreboard up to date. I've been saying it often enough that I didn't think that we necessarily needed to do that. So right now it's 20 for Wolsey-Wessington and only 4 for Redfield. So now we're back up to date on that on the video part of this situation. And at the service line is Doris again, and she hammers another one home.
That's 4 aces I got for her already. 4 aces and 9 kills. And
9 points in a row. And Redfield sees one from Doris sail long. And Redfield is trailing 21-5. And we'll take a 30-second break. This is a Redfield High School sports presentation.
Looking for an easy way to carve out some extra Christmas cash this holiday season? When it's time to prepare that big family feast, book a getaway during your holiday break or go shopping to put gifts under the tree. Cash out with 1% cash back on a low-interest Visa credit card from Dakota Land Federal Credit Union. Maximize your spending and earn cash back while covering all your holiday expenses. No annual fee and rates as low as 9.9%. Make a credit union Visa a hit for the holidays. Apply online at dakotalandfcu.com or at your local branch today. Dakota Land, federally insured.
Welcome back to the Heartland State Bank Press Box. Heartland State Bank, a proud sponsor of all our local students and student athletes.
Well, Redfield trailing at 21-7 as they got a couple of points in a row there. This one goes long, and suddenly Redfield on a little bit of a run here as the score is 21-8. But Wolsey gets back in the saddle again, and it's 22-8 now. And at the service line will be Shea Utek. She reeled off 8 points in a row on her serve in that first game, and that really put Redfield away. This one, Roselle doesn't get it squarely, and it bounces off radically to the side. And Shea Utek has another ace. She has 2 on the game. This one goes back over. Set. And the slam, that was by Clemente. Wolsey-Wessington gets it back. Attempted slam by Laney Utek. And this time Roselle gets it. Youngworth saves it. Gall gets it over. And this one falls on the side of Redfield. Or check that, Wolsey-Wessington. And it is 23-9 as Redfield gains the serve, and this is Seabright. Too close to the net to set it. Gall gets it up high for Redfield, and Kinley Smith tries to slam it over, but it hits the top of the tape and rolls away, and we've got game point set to go here for Wolsey-Wessington. On the service line for them will be Peyton Chemnitz, as this is game point. Zenz, Gall on the far side. That was Smith. Wolsey-Wessington comes right back. The ball slammed by Laney Utek. Redfield gets it across. Another kill attempt, and this is by Tatum Luce, and that will wrap it up as the score 25-9 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington, and Redfield finds themselves down 2-0 in this best of three. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more information about this volleyball game from Greeno Gymnasium, all part of a Redfield Pheasants sports presentation.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Heartland State Bank Press Box. Heartland State Bank, a proud sponsor of all our local students and student athletes.
Well, Ted, Redfield seemed to do fairly well against Warner, and presumably Wolsey-Wessington is in a lower division than Warner, but they are really ruling the roost tonight.
Yes, actually, Wolsey is in the same division as Warner. They have two divisions, AA, A, and B, and Wolsey and Warner are both in the B division. But
Well,
I tell you, Redfield's playing good tonight. Just Wolsey is just playing spectacular. I mean, they're on fire.
Yeah, they're killing them. That's all there is to it. Unfortunately for Redfield, I don't think Redfield has really had that many unforced errors tonight. That's a stat that we have. We can't keep up with every stat, but do you feel that Redfield has had that many unforced errors?
No, I don't think so. I think they played pretty good volleyball. But like I said, Wolsey-Wessington, they're just on fire tonight. I mean, that one girl went 9 serves in a row, How often does that happen in the volleyball match?
Yeah, exactly. And then the youngster Doris, last name Doris, Kaylin Doris, just has been hammering the daylights out of that ball. And they've also gotten several kills out of Clemente. She's number 11. She's got 3. And then number 7, that is Tatum Luce. She has 4. So Wolsey-Wessington has really been hammering that ball. So Redfield will start it off trying to salvage one of the 3 here. This is the 3rd game. And Jersey Morrison will serve first. Once again, Tatum. And it came off some fingertips, so Tatum Luce fires one home. And right away, Redfield is down 1-0. That will send Elaney Utek to the service line. Roselle. Once again, Luce gets it over. Gall's doing a fine job setting tonight. Once again, a nice set. Blocked at the net. That was Tatum and also Kendall Utek. And Redfield finally gets a point. So it's 1-1. Redfield in the early going of our 3rd game. Redfield lost the first one 25-14. And wound up losing the second one 25-9. At the service line is Gall. Boy, that was a sinker there. Out, and Redfield gets a point. So the Pheasants leading by 2-1. They better savor that because they have not had any leads tonight to speak of.
No.
2-1 in favor of Redfield. Gall sinks one in there again. Over on the far side, Doris, and boy, did she pick a spot to drop that ball in there. And the serve and the point will go to Wolsey-Wessington. Try to get our numbers up to date here again. This is a heck of a volley going on here right now. Nice save by Roselle. And dumping it over is Kinley Smith. Smith up once again and hammered long this time.
Well, they said it was touched, so.
Was touched? Oh, my goodness sakes. I sure didn't see that.
I didn't either, but they said it was clipped.
Okay, well,
I
we're
guess
up
we'll
here.
have to go down the court over the net and watch it for ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, that one went long, so Redfield picks up a point, and we're tied at 3-3. Chloe Zen serving. Doris once again, this time nice save. That was by Radigan, and a whistle on the play. And they said that she carried the ball. My goodness sakes, I'm not seeing what they're seeing, but we need to stay out of that.
Yes, and you don't want to screw with the umpires.
Nope, we'll leave them alone. Well, they say no score is showing. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. Let's try it again. It is 5-3. There it is. Wolsey-Wessington 5-3. Far side, Roselle slams it. Doris tries to save it, but it comes off of her. And we've got the score of 4-5. Redfield trailing by 1. And this will be Nolan, check that. That'll be Roselle. Nice block on this side by Kinley Smith and Youngworth. And the Wolsey-Wessington club can't get it back. And lo and behold, we're tied at 5-5. So at the service line is Roselle for Redfield. Goes far side. Nice dunk there by Chemnitz. At the service line is Kaylin Doris. Boy, she's had a night tonight. Zenz, Gall, and a little bit long by Kinley Smith. And that will send Wolsey-Wessington in the lead by a score of 7-5. Nice job there by Kinley Smith, but Wolsey-Wessington gets it returned. Smith over the net, far side, and it's out. That was struck by Laney Utek, and Redfield will narrow it back down to 1 point. And into the game for serving will be Seabright. Redfield trails by 1, 7-6. They lost the first 2 games. This is the third. Seabright over the net and to the near side. Nice block in there by Kinley Smith and Youngworth on Redfield's side. Down low. Youngworth gets it over. A tip and a dive trying to get a hold of it is Seabright, but she can't quite get there in time. And Wolsey-Wessington goes up by 2, 8-6. And they will send Shea Utek back to the line to serve. She reeled off 9 points in a row last game and really put things away for Wolsey-Wessington. Ball over by Ricci. Boy, once again, Zenz digs one out. Shea gets it over. Zenz once again with the ball. Gall. And the kill turned in by Youngworth, and we're back to a 1-point game, 8-7. That is the third kill by Ms. Youngworth. Charlie, blistering serve over the net and unable to handle it. That was a serve by Youngworth, and we are tied at 8-8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ties. But unfortunately, the next point goes to Wolsey-Wessington, and the score is now 9-8. To the far side, Doris this time instead of check that. That was Laney Utek. Instead of slamming it home, she just tipped it over. And Wolsey-Wessington now has a 2-point lead. We've had no more than 2 points separating these teams, although the first 2 games it's out. And that will make it 9 for Redfield, 10 for Wolsey-Wessington. And Redfield serving the ball. And that will send in Jersey Morrison. Morrison set to go. Nice sharp serve handled by Wolsey-Wessington. On the far side, driven home by Luce. Redfield with the ball. That one looked like it was going to go long, but Shea grabbed a hold of it, and Redfield tried to save that one, but was unable to do so. So they stay at 9, and we're going back to a +2 for the visitors, Wolsey-Wessington, as they lead it by a score of 11-9, and that will send Laney Utek back on the service line. Roselle blasts one. It is saved somehow by Wolsey-Wessington. Just barely tips the ball over. That was done by Doris. And Doris with the slam. Nice block. Hayden Gall and Katie Roselle were the co-blockers on that one. And Redfield gets it back to 1 point. The biggest lead so far for Wolsey-Wessington has been 2. Redfield had a lead of 1 early on. Far side, Doris tips it over this time, but Redfield recovers quickly. Roselle slams it. This one is out. Ooh, it hit the back line. Oh, my goodness sakes. Shot there by Kaylin Doris, and she has by far and away been the star of the game for the Lady Warbirds. Back up to a 2-point lead. They've tied the biggest lead that they've had in this game. Boy, that time, who was that? That was Roselle, really slammed it. A scramble at the net, and somehow or other it stays on Redfield's side as the Redfield Pheasants just can't seem to catch a break. As the total goes up to 13, that's the biggest lead here in the third game, with Redfield trailing by a score of 2-1, and Tatum Luce will be on the line. Luce fires it deep, Zenz gets it. Gall towards the net. Roselle recovered by Wolsey-Wessington, and Doris with the ball. This side, a long, deep push over by Gall, and this one goes out of...
Was in.
It hit the line again. My goodness sakes. Almost needed a micrometer to see where that ball went. And Wolsey-Wessington beginning to pull away. They're up by 4, 14-10. Far side, and unfortunately, over on that side, Sucor was a little surprised to where the ball wound up. And it's a 5-point lead now, the biggest lead here in the third game for Wolsey-Wessington. Gall with the set, and it was a little bit too close to the net, and Redfield gets it over. Zanz pumped it over, and Redfield gets a point.
No, they give the point to...
No, they had to, because I think what happened was...
It hit the fan, so that is, if it hits something in the top, it's considered out of bounds.
Okay, well, anyway, it went awry for Redfield, and we'll get the score up to date in just a second. It is Wolsey-Wessington 15 and the Pheasants 10. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
World-class service with hometown friendliness. That's what you can expect from the staff of Haler Automotive. We sell new vehicles from both Chevrolet and Buick, along with a good selection of late-model pre-owned vehicles. And if you're looking for something a little more vintage, come take a look at our classic car showroom, Highway 12 Classics. We have a full service department, parts department, and a body shop. We're conveniently located East Highway 12 in Webster, or view all of our inventory online at HalerAuto.com.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of...
Welcome back to the Heartland State Bank Press Box. Heartland State Bank, a proud sponsor of all our local students and student athletes.
Tatum Luce at the service line, 16-10 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington. And they wound up picking up another point.
She is hot.
17-10 as Tatum Luce has really turned things loose here. No pun intended. Wolsey-Wessington, Doris on the side, and gets another point for Wolsey-Wessington. It's 18-10. 8 consecutive points off of the serve of Tatum Luce. There's a ball on the court. They're going to have to call it. There's a ball on the court. They never stopped it. There was a ball on the court, and they did not stop the play. And they're saying that it did not. Okay, they're going to play the point over again?
Yep, that's what he said.
Okay, so going to play the point over again because the ball rolled loose onto the floor. They still have 18-10 on the scoreboard, but I believe it should be 17-11. Well, I tell you what, Ted, a little confused about what's going on here. 18-11. Youngworth with a kill as she picks up another kill, and Redfield moves back up to where it is 18-12. I still think it should be 17, but apparently they didn't take that point off the board when it was a spare ball got out on the playing court. Over on the far side, Clemente will wind up getting a kill off of that, I believe. That's her 4th of the game. And Wolsey-Wessington leads it by 19-12. As Redfield pops it out of bounds. And it will go to 20-12. As Wolsey-Wessington has reeled off 3 more consecutive points. Youngworth. That's Doris. Redfield that recovers, and Gall gets it over the net. On the far side, this is Clemente. Zen saves it, now gets it over the net. Shea Utek sets it up. Near side, Chemnitz. Roselle pops it over, and Redfield breaks the string here, and the score is 20-13. In favor of the Wolsey-Wessington Warbirds. Into the game once again is Kinley Smith on the service line. This is going to be Roselle back there. Clemente, nice block by Kinley Smith. Boy, that was a beauty. Just into the game and got up there and knocked one right back down the Warbirds' throat. This one just barely makes it over, but as it turns out, it worked out beautifully as the ball kind of dove into no person's land. And Redfield.
That's nice for Roselle.
That's the 4th point in a row off of Roselle's serve, and this might be the last one. Another one, 16 points as Redfield is on a tear right now. This is the 6th possible point coming off of Roselle's serve. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out. 21-16. And the Warbirds come up with another one. 22-16. At the service line is Doris. This time she hammers one into the net. So Redfield will pick up a point.
She's been on fire prior to that.
Well, I tell you what, she has been the MVP in this game. Okay, Joel Osborne is having a discussion with the referee. Rather heated here. And the point service by Seabright into the net, and we're getting close to the 25 to close this out. And on the line is Shea Utek, who reeled off 9 consecutive points off of her serve in the first game. Redfield gets it over. Zen's hustling and gets the job done. Near side, and the ball goes long off of the hands of Tatum Luce, and Redfield moves it up to 18-22. Check that 23. 23-18. Long, deep serve off of Youngworth. Nice block. That was Roselle and Gall at the net, and Redfield picks up a point as we go to 23-19. Redfield has reeled off 3 points in a row here, and they really, really need it. Seabright. Nice block. Oh, almost, not quite, but it didn't make it over, and it's going to be 19-24 as we have game point, match point right now. Tatum loose. Nice dig by Zenz. Over the net by Roselle. Zenz again. That was Gall over the net at the last second. And the ball rolls around off of Youngworth to check that Sucor. Back line, Zenz gets it up in the air. Gall will set it up and send it over Kinley Smith. Far side, this is Doris, and she drops one in, and that will be the end of the game. That was Laney Utek as the score 25-19, and that will end it up here. We'll be back in just 30 seconds to give you some information about how this game went tonight. This is a Redfield High School sports presentation.
Banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work. What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Welcome back to the Heartland State Bank Press Box. Heartland State Bank, a proud sponsor of all our local students and student athletes.
Some unforced errors on the part of the Redfield Pheasants, but not nearly as many as they've had in the past. But boy, I tell you, Wolsey-Wessington just steamrolled them.
They just come out on fire and never let up all night long. I mean, this Caitlin Doris, she had 12 kills, you know. She had 9 in a row there to start, in that second game. Wow, I tell you what, they come out and just, Redfield didn't have a chance. I mean, they were just playing over their heads. Not that Redfield didn't play good. I thought they played pretty good, but the better team was showed,
Well, Shea Utek ran off, 9 points in that one in the first game, and I think she had a 6 or 7 run in the second game as well. Redfield losing both of them. The best performance that the Pheasants had was in that third game, losing at 25-19, but they 25-14 in the first game and 25-9 in the second game. So Redfield came up on the short end, and Wolsey-Wessington, I believe their record now stands at 25-4. So they are a force to reckon with. Let's check and see what's coming up for the Redfield sports activities. Well, there's one more volleyball game on the year, and that will be tomorrow night right here. We'll have it on the air. Well, 6:45 is a projected time for the varsity game, but we generally get here early enough to turn on the equipment and see the JV game. But Tia Spazina will be in on Tuesday, tomorrow night. And then looking into the future, wrestling will get started on the 5th of December as they go to Britain Hecla to open the season for the wrestlers. Then we'll go with girls basketball on Thursday, the 7th of December. That will be at Roncalli. And then the boys basketball team will open at home against Roncalli on Friday, December the 8th. So that about wraps things up for us this evening. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow evening for our volleyball presentation. On behalf of Ted Kemble, this is Alan Scott saying good night once again. The final score, 3-0 in favor of Wolsey-Wessington as the Redfield Pheasants fall 25-14, 25-9, and 25-19. This has been a Redfield sports presentation.
Redfield Energy is a 65 million gallon ethanol plant that produces over 200,000 tons of distillers and grids for over 22 million bushels of corn, providing a quality feed market for all local feeders. At Redfield Energy, they take pride in providing an economic impact on the agricultural industry, community, state, and its utility holders. Located 2 miles north of Redfield, make Redfield Energy your preferred market for locally grown corn. Redfield Energy is a proud supporter of Redfield Pheasant sports and activities.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Welcome back to the Heartland State Bank Press Box. Heartland State Bank, a proud sponsor of all our local students and student athletes.